What's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Casual Sports Podcast. We got a lot going on today, but first I'm going to introduce the guys next to me. We got...
I'm Alek Cabrera. You all know me.
And I'm Matt
Go ahead,
Morrison.
Matt. Introduce yourself.
I'm Matt Morrison.
Matthew J. Morrison.
So what's going on, guys?
Oh, just messing around, eating some chocolate. You know how it is. Valentine's Day came up, and you know what that means, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Daytona 500.
Yeah. Well, not even until 10 o'clock.
I know, that was crazy. It starts, there's a caution, a red flag, so it slows it down. And then after 15 laps, we get the rain delay for 4.5 hours. Doesn't start back up till 9:30. That was crazy. And then half the field gets eliminated. 18 of the 40 drivers don't even finish the Daytona 500. Including some fan favorites like Ryan Blaney.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I mean, Eric Jones he's on the new team this year, isn't he, for NASCAR?
I didn't know.
I don't think he's with Toyota anymore.
I don't think so. But the big story was Michael Jordan's new team with Bubba Wallace in the red 23 car.
Bubba Wallace actually became the first African-American driver to lead a lap in the Daytona 500.
That's right.
So that was pretty historic. But let's get straight into the show. But before we do that, make sure to check out our merchandise. It'll be down in the description. It's going to be on Teespring, Casual Sports Report. We'll say it every week. It's on all of our social medias. So make sure to go check that out. Have some fun. Get some stuff. And join the crew. Keep it casual 2021.
Start repping us, yeah. So, all right, you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Give me 5.
Need a 5-minute break?
Yeah. I'm exhausted already. I'm talking a lot.
Well, you got to wake up. There's a lot to get to in the NFL here.
Oh, do we? The NFL is exciting this week?
There's some stuff going on. So
hopefully it's not like the Super Bowl, because that was snooze fest.
Yeah, there was there's a lot of storylines, but not a lot of action.
Right.
So we got to start with the big news, right? JJ Watt.
Let's do it.
Is that the big news?
That's
JJ the big news?
Over the weekend that we didn't get to talk about yet.
Yeah, I guess that is kind of big.
All right, so...
You want to tell them what it's about?
Yeah, so it's...
I'm being so sarcastic.
You are kind of being... Yeah, what is this here?
Alek Cabrera,
Comedy
sit there
Central.
and be quiet.
Comedy Central over here.
All right, so Texans Jj Watt, their star defensive star, yeah.
And face of the NFL's defense over the past 10
defense,
years.
probably Texas' best player ever.
When he's healthy.
When he's healthy. So they mutually decided to part ways with the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. They basically have been a mess since they traded
Since
DeAndre Hopkins.
Since they hired Bill O'Brien.
There you go.
Well, yeah, since then, but...
Since they made Bill O'Brien general manager and head coach at the same time.
No.
That's when it all went downhill.
So leaders, we got to sign J.J. Watt, Steelers, Buccaneers, Packers, Ravens, Rams, Cowboys, Browns,
Cowboys.
And Dolphins. Keep in mind, though...
Bills?
Keep this in mind, area-wise. J.J. Watt just bought a house in Strongsville, which is in Ohio, about 30 minutes south of Cleveland. Which means Buffalo's an option. Indianapolis is an option. Any of the Detroit teams. Heck, even Chicago, Cleveland. We're talking
Pittsburgh.
Cincinnati. Pittsburgh. Buffalo isn't that far from Cleveland either. It's a 4 to 6 hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if you go to New York, I think that's only 6 hours as well.
So there's a lot of teams surrounding where he's
he's in the right area. A lot of teams in contention. I'm not too sure that the Buccaneers would be an option or the Packers if he's sometimes NFL guys just buy houses everywhere.
They just have multiple houses.
The Packers thing came up because he's from Wisconsin.
I kind of like to see him there if I had to pick.
Yeah,
it would be cool, but
I'd be cool to see him in black and gold.
Oh yeah,
yeah. The Permane brothers said if all 3 of the Watts team up on the Steelers, they're going to change their name to the Watt brothers instead of Permane brothers.
That'd be awesome.
I don't care.
Don't know if that's true or not.
Their sandwiches are good either way. So
they're massive. They were delicious last time I was there.
But so in terms of fit, I would like to see him with the Packers. I think he's from there.
In terms of fit, Cleveland.
I could see him.
Him and Myles Garrett.
Put that. Don't forget Vernon exists.
And Vernon.
And Ogunjobi. Isn't that? Or am I thinking of somebody else? I think it's Ogunjobi.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a stacked D-line if we're talking D-lines.
And then put him with his brother.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Both of them. Put the Watts together. I don't think the Steelers can afford it
unless
you're dropping...
I mean, they're cutting Ben's pay.
Right, but depending on how far that goes... I mean, yes, he is on a big contract.
They're still trying to figure it out.
The contract coming in for JJ is going to be even massive. Really, one of the only teams that can afford it, realistically, is the Browns. The Browns are one of the biggest cap spaces in football right now.
I think the Cowboys could afford it, but they have so much to get figured out before they even think
about it. The Cowboys could afford it, But I don't think anybody wants to go to the Cowboys.
And they have other
It's a hot
problems.
mess.
They have other problems they have to figure out.
I
and
think
now
that
that they've shown that they won't pay their stars either.
I think that Pittsburgh
They
needs
just
to
won't pay the
figure
right
out.
stars.
Right.
I think Pittsburgh needs to figure out what they're doing because they have so many free agents now. They have to re-sign these guys back.
Yeah.
Bud Dupree, Juju, among others.
And won't Watt's contract be up next
What?
year?
Yeah. So they got that huge
gotta
pay
figure out
cap
who they
with
want.
Ben. They have to figure that situation out before they can bring in another guy like
I
JJ.
think as much as we all would love to see him in the black and
Yeah.
gold, and that'd be kind of cool to have all 3 Watt brothers.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we've ever had 3 brothers all on the same
You've
team.
had 2 on
Right.
many different times. but
Including
not-
the Steelers right now.
Yeah, but just not
I don't think
3.
we've had 3.
I don't think that's happened in any sport, has it?
Maybe hockey.
Not off the top of my
Hockey,
head. I don't
soccer
know.
probably. Soccer across the world, I would imagine somewhere
There's
there has
probably
been 3
a bunch of
brothers on the
siblings,
team.
yeah.
Right. I mean, you could probably say the same about basketball or cricket too, depending on the regions. Even baseball,
Baseball, probably.
at least a while ago,
Yeah.
wouldn't have been that surprising. You have 3 brothers all from some nowhere town.
Maybe minor leagues.
Something,
possibly.
yeah. But I think this would be of the modern era. I would say this would probably be the biggest grouping.
In terms of the 8 teams I just listed, I mean, there's really not a bad choice for him personally or for any of the teams. They're all in like good situations and ready to win. So I don't know. I wouldn't see him. I wouldn't like see him with the Ravens because it's. That
No,
would,
I don't think anybody.
he wouldn't go there.
you think he wouldn't or
No. What? I mean,
Dolphins maybe. I don't know. They're not there yet to have a guy like him. They're young and up and coming, but I don't think they're there yet. Yeah, Steelers are probably the best.
or the Bills. Dude, that'd be so cool.
I don't know if they can get them.
I don't think the Bills have any money.
I don't
That's
think
the
so.
problem.
Yeah.
They need to worry about getting a running back in the draft, but that's all.
They gotta get a running back.
A Singletary can work it. Let the guy develop.
I don't know.
So we
I
can,
mean, it's not like they're going to get a high enough draft pick to get
Yeah.
anybody decent,
That is true.
depending on what
Unless
they're
they
going. Because they
trade-
don't. No, their number one thing in the draft will not be a running back. And best running backs go late first, early second. They're not using that on a running back this year.
and like you said,
It'd be illogical.
like you said last week, when you look at guys the last couple years that have gone so early in the draft, that's not going to happen again. You look at guys like Zeke and that have gone like
We're not
top
seeing.
four,
We're not going to
that's-
see a top 15 again.
That's not going to happen again.
No.
I mean, those two were irregular.
Yeah,
And when in terms of where they're falling. I mean, we're seeing Najee Harris and Travis Etienne, 2 guys that both came off great years, and Etienne that's come off 3 great years at Clemson with national titles for both of them, and Heisman Trophy contentions for both of them. I mean, we're talking phenomenal seasons,
Yeah.
better than what Zeke and Saquon are really putting up. But it doesn't really matter because right now, we thought there was going to be a running back resurgence in the NFL. Then Patrick Mahomes walked in and went, "Nah, quarterbacks are here to stay."
Yeah.
There was that glimmer of hope that it was going to be a running back league again. I mean, we still have some powerhouses, no doubt about that. There are guys all over the league that can show they're flashy. But every week, we see it time and time again. It doesn't matter if your running back has a 230-yard day with 3 touchdowns. If you can't move the ball to the air, you don't win. Not in
the
today's
guys that are
NFL.
flashy, they weren't like top 15 picks like you're saying. Like you don't have to have a star running back to be a good team anymore.
No.
Just have a steady running game. That's all you
I
gotta
mean, we
have.
saw it with...
Which Pittsburgh did not. They did
No,
not have a
no.
steady running game, and you're using old
You need to
man
have a steady running game, but you
Roethlisberger.
don't need to have a complete
Star
running
power
game.
in
Right.
your
Yeah.
backfield.
You don't need to have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb to run it to the Super Bowl. It helps.
Yeah.
It's
That's
definitely
what
a
helped
help.
the Browns to get as far as they did, was having that
And
strong
Nick Chubb
run
wasn't
game.
he wasn't a top pick.
No.
I mean,
I mean,
That's
what we
another
saw
example.
with the 49ers the season before.
yeah.
They went in there with no star power at the running back position. Same with the Chiefs that year as well. We saw it was, 2 undrafted guys or 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 undrafted guys
Damian,
as starting running backs in the Super Bowl 2
Damian
seasons ago.
Harris and somebody else.
Mostert?
I thought you were
was
talking about
Niners.
Kansas City.
But, I mean, both of them were...
Mostert
really-
and somebody else,
Mostert.
but like you just have to have quality running backs and just steady
I
running
mean, we
games.
saw it even with the Chiefs this season. I mean, yeah, they had Ronald Jones Jr., pretty good running back, but he's no star power name.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, yeah. What did I say?
Kansas City.
Chiefs.
Oh,
They
yeah.
had Clyde Edwards and
Right, and who ended up being
Yeah.
a high draft pick.
yeah,
for
he was the
him.
first running back.
And they also had Le'Veon Bell.
You know.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, we saw there really was no comparison between having that late round guy and having the high round guy, besides the fact that once they're out in space, they might be able to do a little bit more. But frankly, if you don't have the offensive line, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
So
you can't do
we'll see.
anything if you don't have, if you don't have an offensive line up there creating holes and knocking guys around. You're not. It doesn't matter if you have a starting back or a late pick running back. You're not going to have anybody that's going to be productive if you're not going to have an offensive line.
Yeah. So I mean, the Bills just need to focus on building around Josh Allen instead of building around a running back.
They need to get more receivers.
Yeah.
With Diggs.
Yeah.
I mean, Beasley's
Diggs was
a good
Slot
guy,
guy. Yeah.
slot guy to get you tough dude, small guy but tough to get you some yards.
Yeah, play hurt half the year.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that guy's an animal though. He has been his whole year.
Yeah.
His whole career with Dallas too.
That's where he made his name. Well, that's the only other team he played for. But
Yeah.
so like, going back to the Texans, I mean, they've still got the Deshaun Watson thing to figure out. I mean, they're just in shambles right now.
They're garbage.
Where do you kind of see? How do you kind of see the Watson thing playing out? I mean, they're still saying they're putting their foot in the ground, saying we're not trading you.
They're gonna.
I mean, that's cool and all, but if I'm Deshaun Watson, I'm going.
I'm holding.
I'm not getting
out.
injured again. No, I'm good. I'll sit out. Find me. See if I care. I made $30 million last year, or whatever he made in the previous season. I think it was enough to cover whatever this season will
He'll
be.
do
And
what
if, he's a
Le'Veon did.
and if he's a smart businessman, he saved that money
I mean, if you're going to sit
in
here,
case he needed to do something like this, which I'm sure he
Yeah.
thought with the amount of injuries he's gotten early on in this career, there might be a point where I miss some time, or I'm not on a roster. Let me save the money. I hope he thinks like that, because if he can, he's not put himself in the spot financially that he can hold out on the Texans.
if you're going to sit here and tell us like, oh, we're not trading him, then why are you making moves like getting rid of Jj Watt and like getting rid of other guys?
Why are you getting rid of your best players?
So you're going to keep your
They're even
quarterback with
talking
nothing
about
around
getting
him.
rid of Fuller. They're only really decent
Right.
wide receiver.
Yeah.
So they're gonna get.
I mean, no offense to the other guys on that team, but besides Hopkins and Fuller, they really didn't have any weapons.
Playmakers.
I mean, yeah, they didn't have playmakers. They had good receivers, but every wide receiver core needs that one guy that can go out there in the clutch and make that catch, can go up in the double team, can beat some guys downfield. You need that one player to at least create a double team or create that doubt in the defense mind.
You need a Michael Thomas. You need
Something.
A
Every
Diggs.
team's got to have that if you want to try to be competitive.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah.
And a guy that can throw it to him too.
Right. I mean, I hate to keep bringing up the Browns, but look at the Browns. Once Odell was out, Jarvis was the only guy.
No, they're a good example
He
of
was
it.
the only guy that was a star, surrounded by 4 or 5 other guys, 3 of which at one point didn't play in the season. There was one game where I think it was 4 of the 5 receivers that played had not played in the season.
Well, that was like when they had COVID stuff, right?
Right, yeah.
But it still mattered.
Right. It still mattered because
Because they lost that game to the Jets.
yeah.
That was the one that they had all the guys out. But
Like Baker Mayfield, we know he can get it to his guys, no problem. He's got the cannon of an arm and pretty good accuracy, on par with probably most of the league. For the most part, he has questionable decision making. I think is his problem.
but it's there. It's like you're saying.
Right, but like we know he can get it to guys, but when your guys aren't good enough to get open without that one guy to draw the attention away,
Right.
you can't do much on offense, even with the strong running game that they had.
Yeah, and like you just look at the guys that just gave away. I mean, they had, like you're saying, they had that deep ball threat with Hopkins.
And they traded him for David Johnson.
Yeah, I mean,
That's Bill O'Brien.
I don't know why anybody would want to be there right now. I mean, you look where they were. They were just
They were like what the Browns used to be like.
yeah,
Good or bad? Which one?
Bad Browns.
Okay.
but they had a good.
Like your 0-16 team.
Woo.
I bet you Houston's close to that record next year. I don't see them winning
Depending
much.
on Watson's situation.
Yeah.
well,
I
he'll
don't know.
most
I
likely
even
be
that.
after.
Most likely, I think they finish 5 wins.
5 wins.
Best case scenario.
Maybe.
No, I think worst case scenario is 4.
Yeah, that's fair. But we just
It's
don't know
so
who they're
hard
going
to
to have.
count on
I
a
mean,
team to lose that many games. I mean, we see it. Even bad teams finish with 3 wins.
yeah, at the end of the season when there's like slot games and people aren't playing
Right.
people, but
I mean, we saw the Dolphins
Like the
were
Jets.
on.
Yeah.
The Dolphins were on pace to not this season, but season prior. They were on track to get the first pick overall. They were like 0-13, then they win their last 3 and completely tanked their spot
Still
or
got Tua.
anti-tanked their spot.
yeah,
Still
got
picked
Tua.
up Tua.
Right.
That's another thing. I don't really understand trading Tua for Watson. I mean, you're just going to give up on a guy that you just started halfway through a season. You don't even know
That
what he's
was the dumbest thing I've heard.
I
all
wouldn't
week
do it, would
was
you?
that.
I mean, as good
No.
as Deshaun Watson is, I mean, you're just giving up on a guy you
rather-
just brought up.
I'd rather, if I had the confidence to take that guy high enough in the draft and put him in at the point in the season that Fitzpatrick was having.
Halfway through the season. I mean, you haven't even seen him that
right. If I have seen the confidence already to put him in that position in a team that was making a playoff run.
Yeah.
They were making that push.
They missed by like a game or two.
Right.
They were there.
They had the chance. If I had the confidence to put in the rookie over my veteran, who I brought in to train the rookie and, teach him, if I had the confidence to do that, I would be an idiot to trade away that rookie that I had the confidence to take that high and to start in the middle of a playoff push season.
I agree. I definitely agree. And I like I said, I keep hearing that on certain sports outlets. Like, I just don't understand that. I wouldn't do it. I mean, like I said, as good as Deshaun Watson is, you just took that guy as high as in draft as you did last year. They brought him in halfway through the season, like we mentioned, and you're just going to give up on him so far? I mean, bringing Deshaun Watson doesn't make a huge difference for the Dolphins. I mean, as good as he is, but they're not. They came within a game or two of making the playoffs, but they're not win now.
The year before, they made the playoffs and beat Buffalo because they had key receivers.
I mean, we're still talking Texans, right?
Yeah.
That's not that for a second. Texans were up 24-0 over the Chiefs.
The Chiefs, yeah.
In the playoffs 2 seasons ago. And now none of that team remains, basically. They're in shambles.
It's
disgusting franchise.
Ugly situation.
Worse than the other team? Washington? In your opinion?
That's your team.
That's your
Washington.
team.
Blech. I mean, at the point, Washington might actually be better run than the Texans at the moment.
Texans might be the worst run organization in sports right now. They might be worse than the Pirates in baseball.
Oh, probably. I don't know. Pirates are
pretty
bad.
Pirates are just bad and they have no cap space. The Texans have money and are just idiots.
Yeah.
So that's different. Yeah.
I mean, the Pirates could have money, but that's a different story. We talk about that every other week.
And it's more difficult in baseball, but
right.
Like we say all the time.
Which I think we were going to talk about cap space this week, weren't we? In Major League Baseball?
Yeah, we'll probably mention that later a little bit. But so it's enough Texans here. Let's go to another bad situation in the same state, but in the city of Dallas.
Yeah,
this is actually not bad.
I thought the state was supposed to be good at football.
It's supposed to be high school football.
Oh, okay,
and
that's where it
somewhat
is.
college, but not really. But
hey, they're back.
This isn't really like big news about Dak, but I saw us on Get Up this morning. Cowboys tight end Blake Jarwin, he had a picture of him and Dak during a game together. And he captioned it, said, Dak, want to run it back in a few months. And Dak responded, that's the only way I want to see it. Then they followed that with a couple years ago, Dak was saying how much he dreamed being a quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, how that's the only thing he wants to do, that's the only place he wants to be. So from a Cowboys perspective, if you have a guy saying this, what is a holdup? This guy wants to be a quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Not many people want to do that for how much pressure it is. That's like something everybody dreams about. Yeah, people want to play with the Yankees in baseball and stuff but people dream about being a Dallas Cowboy quarterback.
Yeah.
And this guy's telling you that.
Somewhere
and you're
along
still
the line,
up.
I bet you every player in the NFL has, I wouldn't say every, but most of them, or a lot of them.
Most of the older guys, at least.
Have
the
thought
Cowboys
about playing. Like, came up growing up saying, I want to play.
Whether the Cowboys are bad or good, everybody wants to be a quarterback for them.
Yeah.
And this guy's telling you that, and throughout all this, I'm going to say, disrespect you guys shown in the last couple of years, he still wants to be there. So get it done. I don't understand what they're waiting on.
This Cowboys team is like the Browns last year. They had like the right, players that
still
win,
talent, but they just can't put it together.
But they just can't put it together. They were just like the Browns last year. Man, we're bringing up the Browns a lot.
And we're Ohioans.
Yeah, but I mean, look, the Browns last year they, what was their record? I forget. They didn't make. They just missed the playoffs.
They had won like
6-10,
something like that.
Yeah,
something like
right
that.
along there. I don't remember exact,
but
maybe 7-9.
I mean, but look at Dallas. They have Dak. They have Zeke, who if would get off his butt and start playing better, they'd be great.
They paid him too early. They rushed the contract.
Yeah.
That's partially why they can't get his Dak done right now.
I mean,
you have Gallup. You have CD Lamb. You have who's your other dude?
Cooper.
Yeah. I mean, crap on Zeke all you want, but he worked for him. He got paid.
Yeah.
He
was the rushing leader for 3 years in a row.
Right. He led the league in rushing 3 years in a row.
In his first couple years. I mean,
right. On the rookie contract, he was like, pay me for what I just did for you. It's not my fault. You couldn't win those games. I did all I could. I did more than anybody else in this league. Pay me. He got his money. We know running backs don't last long in the NFL.
No.
And it's dumb if a franchise wants to put that much into it. They did. and it's kind of hurt them. But they didn't have a choice because you're not going to get another guy like Zeke out there.
No.
Because when the guy wants to do it and he's on. He's probably the best running back in the league.
Oh, yeah.
When he is on.
Oh, he's definitely, if not the best, one of the best.
Better than Derrick Henry.
I think he has more to offer than Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
We know Derrick Henry is a speed,
he can catch out the backfield.
Mix.
I mean,
right.
When Zeke's on, he can do it.
He's probably like, I mean, Derrick Henry you could look at as like a, I don't know, like a Bo Jackson even.
Derrick Henry is like
bigger
a tank.
guy.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry is like a
Earl
tank.
Campbell or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Derrick Henry's like a Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Like his own
I'm
category.
just trying to compare.
I don't think there is a comparison for a Derrick Henry because we really haven't seen somebody
dude,
like his size and
runs over people.
Right.
But as
he's
good as
a dominant force in nature, but I think Zeke has more to offer.
Yeah.
He's a more versatile back, and that's what the league needs.
But as good as Zeke is like catching out of the backfield, but like as we talked about before, you don't.
That's another.
I would rather
Zeke,
have had Dak than Zeke because if you just have a decent running game, which Cowboys have, Tony Pollard's a good second option.
Yes,
and he could be a starting running
back. But
back.
also, they need to fill guys in their offensive line.
They do. It's
that's another. So
it's
I
been
take
injured
that
the last
back. You
few
can't
years.
really blame it all on Zeke. I mean, their offensive line. They lost.
Yeah, the line is falling apart, and they've gotten older.
They got to address that in the draft.
Yeah.
They really have to.
That's going to come to bite Pittsburgh.
You're going to say that, get the offensive line. They're not going to do it either.
That's
they're going to get another
thing.
wide receiver or a linebacker.
That's another thing.
There's some good linemen you can get in like second or third round, later rounds. But
yeah.
That's another thing Pittsburgh has to get up on.
They have to make sure they get someone at the line.
Because linemen
but you got to take the running back first.
Yes.
For as much as, offensive linemen get beat up, they just don't last that long anymore. I mean, guys, what's their career span? Like 10 years maybe?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Joe Thomas won
8 to 10, yeah.
Joe Thomas won like 14 seasons.
And that was long.
Yeah.
When you have a good offensive line, you got to win with it because it doesn't last long.
I mean,
Dallas just had a
that's what the Steelers did with that.
Yeah.
Was it 2008, 2009? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
They won the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah, the year they won the Super Bowl. I mean, they've had that same offensive line basically.
Marquise Pouncey just retired.
Right,
so
and expect Villanueva to be gone soon too.
Yeah, you need a new center, and you need a new right guard and left guard.
Yeah.
Gonna need to get some tackles in there. I mean, it's time to start. Steelers have to realize it's time to start rebuilding.
Get those big guys from Bama.
You can't be sitting on the guys much longer.
No.
And it would be better for the franchise to start the rebuild while you can still compete, rather than
wait.
Right. Rather than wait. Wait. Yeah. You just gotta wait along and just go with the flow. I don't know. I'm losing it.
It's all right.
But that's kind of the same thing with Dallas. Like if they were to lose Dak,
I hope the Steelers suck.
I don't.
That gives the Browns a better chance.
Still got the Ravens. Though,
give me the Browns a few years of being okay. Okay, give me that.
But like with Pittsburgh, they're like they can still rebuild and like not suck. I guess like you're saying.
Right.
Like it's time to do it, and like they still have, their defense is young and they're gonna hold that together. But offensively,
you got to sign Bud Dupree.
Yeah, Bud Dupree.
Steelers got a lot of issues.
They do have a lot of issues
to address.
But they
can be addressed.
Right.
There's still a way they can rebuild and not completely stink, but I feel like
they can rebuild without becoming the Texans.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
It's so good. I mean, the Cowboys really don't need to rebuild.
That's
they just
where I was
need to
going
kind
to
of reshuffle.
Like if they were to lose Dak, maybe they can go into rebuild mode, but they wouldn't really have to go into total rebuild mode because their whole offense.
Give it to Danucci.
No.
No.
Bring back Romo.
The Red Rocket.
But their offense, like skill wise, they're young and most of them are under contract. So offense, like skill wise, you're gonna be okay.
How about this, Mike? How would you feel about a Deshaun Watson for Dak Prescott trade?
You can't ask for
the in-state move.
You can't ask for a better.
Same number. They're like the same player.
They have a lot of similarities.
Yeah,
same number,
same everything.
I mean, but would you be willing to do that trade?
Yeah, I would.
Really? So you'd get rid of Dak Prescott, who led the league in passing for 5 weeks after he stopped playing, for the injury-prone
Well, if he
Deshaun
flat out
Watson.
says he doesn't want to be there, which he hasn't done, I mean, if he still wants to be there, I'm all for it. I'm a Dak supporter.
If he says he wants to be there, would you support the trade?
No, I wouldn't even do it. But if he said he doesn't want to be there and they could somehow
Mike on the line like that.
If they could somehow do a sign trade if he says he doesn't want to be there, then okay, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do it? But if he's saying he wants to be there like he is saying right now, keep him. I'm a Dak supporter. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, whether you like it or not. Whether people want to say it or not, because people don't give him the credit that he deserves. Even the Cowboys don't give him the credit that he deserves.
Right.
But No, I want Dak there, and that's their best option right now.
Yeah, better than Andy Dalton.
Yeah. All right, let's move this along.
Yeah, let's
what do
move
we
this
got
along.
next, Mike?
Let's not talk about Dallas.
NFL pretty much.
NFL? Why would we want more NFL? Season's over, bro.
No, I'm saying that's
Let
pretty
it
much.
go. Is that the show? 30 minutes in?
NFL, that's pretty much it.
Oh.
But we got a lot to get to in the NBA.
Do we?
You said you had a rant to get onto.
Oh, I mean, I don't know about a rant, but...
Something to not be happy about.
I mean, I can find things to not be happy about
let's
every week.
Let's talk about NCAA basketball.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah. Want to mention your Loyola?
Yeah. All right, they lost yesterday by 1, but the night before, Loyola, what was it? What did I say? 81-54 against Drake.
Yeah.
That team
Knocked
didn't
them
They
come.
played them yesterday, too, didn't they?
Yeah, they lost by 1.
Loyola's looking at around a 10 seed, 8 seed, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're
Right
higher up.
where they were before,
Right.
a couple years ago.
I mean, it's a good spot if you
Yeah.
want to make that. I don't even know at this point if it would be a Cinderella run because they are ranked
Yeah.
and they are looking good. They just
And they
beat
already
Drake,
did it, too.
Yeah.
and they already did it. I don't know if a team can be a Cinderella team twice
I mean,
because
They-
at
they-
the point you've made the run.
they
We're
where
had
like 3 or
matched.
4 years
They had
apart.
matched
Right.
Drake. They blew them out the first game and only lost by 1 the second game.
right, and now just smoked them.
Yeah.
So
So I think they got a good chance to run here. Run it
Yeah,
back.
they could.
We'll see.
Like we say with the tournament, it just depends on who they
The
play.
Sister Jean bobbleheads have went back on sale, by the way.
We need to get one.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna get one.
We need to get
They're
one.
like-
Matt's gonna get like 3. They're gonna be in his car on his dashboard.
But what's also Ohio State, man, this
They're-
could be the year.
Number 1 seed's looking pretty good
This
for you
could
guys.
be the year, dude.
You can,
I don't want
you
to
can go ahead and
jinx
talk
it
about
right
getting
now.
pretty
I don't
good.
want to
You're-
jinx it.
I don't want
But I
to.
might be picking them kind of far.
You know, it's funny.
You can talk about
Growing, let me go story time here. It's more interesting sometimes. So, growing up, my family always did, the March Madness brackets, as I'm sure most
As everybody
families
does.
did,
Oh, yeah.
right? Yeah. Every year, without fault, I picked Ohio State to go all the way. Every time they were in
Whatever
it,
your favorite team's in it, you always
Right.
do that.
yeah.
So-
So I always did it. All my family called me dumb every year, and you know what? I've stuck to my guns, and I've got it. Gone every time. Even though most of the time Ohio State is a guaranteed second-round exit. I mean, they're so consistent with it. They blow somebody out in the first and then get blown out in the second.
Yeah.
Hey, they're consistent to a fault. Now we got the new coach. We got the star players in. I was hyped before the season. I was looking at it, this past offseason, like, man,
They got some talent.
they pulled some stuff together. I mean, they had lost some big names after last
They
season.
did, but they brought some guys in that you didn't really hear of.
Right, a lot of them didn't hear it. They got in, I think it was over the summer, they brought in the top Ivy League transfer who had come from like Harvard or something. I don't even know if he's playing right now for the group. I don't remember what the names were at this point. But the point is, I've stuck with Ohio State the whole time. And I think maybe, just finally, this time when I write Ohio State all the way, they just might take it.
Well, that's where I was going to ask you here. Do you, obviously, from what you just said, you're viewing them as a contender, which they are. But do you think it might be the same old Ohio State story, and they get like to the second or third round?
Will it be the same Ohio State back in the day where they had Aaron Kraft?
But this team's way
shooting-
better.
Yeah.
Nah.
I think this team would beat that Final Four team.
Do you
They
think
would.
they're going to get farther than they usually do? Because
Yeah,
sometimes
UJ
they play good in the regular
Liddell,
season
have
and they don't.
the
in the
one
tournament.
Wesson brother.
I will answer that next week. After.
You want to wait till we get a little closer?
No, I want to wait until Sunday. Because it's Ohio State versus that team
Michigan.
up north.
That's going to be
That's immediate.
I mean, we talk about the rivalry game that has been one of the most important in football history when it comes to deciding one
And speaking-
seeds and Rose Bowls and championships.
Speaking-
And now, can I finish?
Yes.
And now,
No.
I know you don't let people do it often. So now,
You don't let me finish. You don't
all
let
right.
me
Let's stop pick on each other. Here.
And now we're talking about it to find a 1 seed going into the Big Ten tournament. And, I mean, it's just giving you those flashbacks like, we didn't get it. We didn't get Ohio State versus Michigan in football this year. But now we get a 3 versus 4 seed in basketball. Insane.
It
And
is
you
insane.
might-
And I'll answer it. I'll answer next Monday if I think this team's a contender. So I want
And
to see what they look like.
depending
They've already
on
beaten
the-
plenty of ranked teams. They have more wins against top 25 teams than anyone else in college basketball this season.
depending on the way the bracket is set up, I don't know. They could meet again in March Madness. I don't know if they have to win.
They would meet again in the Big Ten Conference Championship.
Yes.
Or
So that'd be another.
not championship, but somewhere along the line in the conference tournament. And then they could meet in Madness depending on standings.
Yes.
Because, I mean, if they still somehow come out of both as 1 seeds, which I think would happen if they both make it to the conference championship game and end it close, that'd probably be the only way they both come out as 1s, I would think. If one of them wins it here, the other one wins the Big Ten.
Then it'd be even.
Right, it would be season series would be even.
Did they play yet already, or did they get canceled? Weren't they supposed
They
to
have
play?
not played yet.
Okay.
No. This will be the first meeting between the 2 teams. Because I've been looking out for the games like all season long, and it just hasn't happened.
I want your guys' thoughts on the number 1 seed here, Gonzaga. What do you think? What do you think? I'm gonna make a true statement here.
I'm not sure what they've done yet.
Okay, they're number 1. They're what are they? 20-0. But look at their division.
I think they're 21 now.
Yeah, look at their division. They have Pepperdine. They have BYU, San Francisco in there. Okay. They don't play teams that are up to par.
Yeah, but they always play those teams, and they always get to the Final Four.
Because they're fresh.
They're
fresher than all these other teams.
But they have good athletes.
They have good
athletes.
Yes, they do.
Well, I would
do.
say you're right, besides the fact that they beat Iowa 99-88.
Yeah, because they were fresh. Who'd they play the game before? And who'd
number 11, West Virginia. Suck on them toads.
No. Yeah, that's just by chance.
Then they took 2 wins against Northwestern State.
They
then came out
Kansas.
and beat number 16 Virginia.
Kansas haven't.
No.
Where's Kansas at? They're not that bad this year.
Go look at their schedule for December and tell me that is not just as hard as anybody else.
They had a huge gap in between that with postponed and canceled games.
Yeah, but
every team has had to deal with that, Matt. You're saying, oh, what team's fresh? Cry me a freaking river.
They could have came off
at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're fresh or not. At the end of the day, the better team is going out there and perform week in, week out, and they're winning a game. A team that has gone undefeated this season, cry me a freaking river. They are gonna beat your crappy, sorry Penn State team. Guarantee that too.
They're not talking about
Penn State sucks.
No, they're bad.
I just had to throw an insult to Penn.
They just watched Nebraska. That's embarrassing.
I was on Nebraska's first Big Ten.
Last year was their year, and then they got canceled. Now they're done.
Yeah.
But yes, they have beat decent teams this season. They beat Iowa.
Iowa's good. Don't say they're decent. Iowa's having troubles last week or two, but
a couple of troubles. They beat Kansas.
Still, they beat them when they were hot.
Yeah, but look at the teams they have played, though.
Who cares? Every team has cupcakes.
But
not so many.
Not every team is playing in the Big Ten and the Big 12.
Listen, Gonzaga plays these.
You're the one crying about Loyola being the best team in the conference. Look who is in their conference.
Yes. Because they're a lower team. If they were to go up against Gonzaga, do you think they
Gonzaga would kick their smoked rear end?
They would.
Then you're saying Loyola's going to make a Cinderella run.
Yeah, a Cinderella one, not a championship run. You will see them high in the March Madness, not a championship.
And you're sitting here saying Gonzaga is not a legit team. You're literally saying Gonzaga is not a legit team as they're 20-0, but you're saying Loyola all the way.
I'm going to help you out. I'm going to help him out here. Gonzaga plays these same teams every single year, and they're always in the Final Four.
Yes.
Weren't they in the national title game like a year or two ago?
Yes.
And
what I'm saying is, like what you said with the Big
fresher.
Ten. They are. Look at
But Matt,
they're like Alabama in football.
Teams,
that's why Alabama
Shut up! You're an idiot.
Put Alabama in like the Big Ten.
They're in the SEC.
They just blew out Ohio State.
I know.
They murdered Ohio State. They made them look like the fifth-grade girls team.
Look, I'm trying to dig myself out of the hole.
You're so far in it. You're just digging deeper.
Look.
You got rid of the shovel. You brought in
whatever.
Massive shovel. I'm not looking anymore. Mike, move it along. Who cares about Loyola, Gonzaga? Take it away.
This argument
Listen.
But, like, teams coming out, like, if they have a week or so off, number one, because of COVID, they can't control that. And number two...
No, they can't
like, if they have a break like that, they could easily came out flat.
No.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing every year with Zaga, okay? And, yeah, they have made it to the Final Four every year. Or something like that. Year. Something like that. But if you wouldn't shout at me, I would get to the point. I was going to ask a question after the point, but you started yelling.
Too long to get to the point.
All right, well, what's your question?
Because you yelled.
What's your question?
Will we see a team upset them? Finally get to
I mean, anything happens.
Will we see a team finally get to them?
I would say on any given night, there's a 50-50 chance that one team will win.
Listen, Gonzaga
They've
could
beaten
lose.
so many of these, like Pepperdine and teams like that in their division. Will we see a team like that upset them? Will we see a team like that
We're
say,
not going to
hey,
see a Cinderella upset them, no.
No.
Not
Will we
a chance.
see
Listen,
a team
there's a
that's
reason they're
like,
20
hey,
Anybody
listen,
can
you've
be-
beaten these bad teams before, and we're going to bring it to you.
Anybody
Will we
can
see
be
that?
Anybody can be Gonzaga, Baylor, Michigan, Ohio State, Illinois, any of these top teams.
Yes.
It's March Madness. But
I mean, we saw UMBC beat
But-
Virginia.
yeah,
I don't think we can really start questioning.
the only time it's ever happened those.
There's a reason it's called
What about-
March Madness. Because for
Now,
some
obviously-
teams, it's March Sadness.
Yeah. And it's going to be pretty clear that in their conference championships that they're going to clean house.
Probably.
Whoever
I
they
would say
play.
so.
I mean, they play.
I mean,
these
you're right
teams-
about their conference being
I mean,
garbage.
Oh yeah.
Another
it is.
example, we say this about Villanova. They're in the Big East, and a lot of Big East teams aren't good.
Not anymore.
Not
Big East is
anymore.
nothing like
They
it
just
used to
won 2 national titles in the last couple of years.
Their team. Okay.
Especially
The Big
since-
East used to be sweet, but it's
yeah,
not
but
anymore.
Rutgers is gone
BYU
too.
is actually 15
Pitt used to be in the
5,
Big East, and
but-
now they're not there anymore.
Matt's contradicting his own point. He's like, "Oh, BYU's actually not bad. They're 15-5."
I don't know who they play. I don't know. I
Do
didn't
your
look at the
research
schedule.
before you start
I
sounding
have.
dumb. You just sound worse.
All right, any other college basketball? Or...
Ohio State all the way.
Yes.
It could happen.
Or
It
Michigan.
could happen.
Why not?
And keep
Why
your
not this year?
Let's go down.
Let's stay ready for
further
that
down
Ohio
the
State
list.
Michigan game. So I'm excited for that.
It should be. I mean,
Let's
that's
go further down the
that's
list.
game of the week, pretty much.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, gotta be 3
We're
versus
giving
4.
it away now.
Yeah, give it away. Why not?
This week's game of the week: Ohio State versus Michigan on Sunday.
How about Alabama in basketball?
They're doing pretty good.
They came around. I've been watching them. I've been
Listen,
keeping an eye.
they've had some good teams the last few years.
Even
and-
Illinois. I mean, the Big Ten teams. We talked about this on numerous occasions. There's like 7 of them in there, and
You could have more than that too.
Yeah.
But,
Well, here's a question for that. How many Big Ten teams will we see? Let's go in the Sweet 16.
16.
That would be
There's like a
something.
16 Big Ten team.
I mean, Ohio
14.
State could definitely do it.
I mean, we'll see
Um,
Ohio State, Michigan, most likely.
Illinois maybe
Illinois,
could.
Iowa.
They've
They're
had some
slipping,
hard
but they'll pop it back.
You think?
Wisconsin.
because they've been on a
Wisconsin's
slide
in
the
there?
last week or two.
Maybe.
How
I think those would be the most
who's
likely.
that?
Illinois could.
Rutgers.
Minnesota's
Will Rutgers
still
make a
good.
run?
Rutgers
Rutgers.
could. I mean, they got.
They were
players.
ranked. They got.
Wait,
They got
Big
Ron Harper Jr.
They got 49.
Big Ten's got the issue
so
of they have too many ranked teams, so when they keep like beating each other, it's just
Yeah.
kind of like recycling every other
Yeah.
week.
It's just reshuffling everybody.
Right.
It's just you know.
I mean that's what you like to see in a close
Purdue?
conference.
We could see Purdue. They were ranked.
I mean, we're talking about.
There's a lot of what
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, at least teams.
I thought they
a lot
still
of
were
what ifs.
ranked, but I guess not. Yeah, I don't know. Illinois maybe could. I don't know. Big Ten, you can't. It's just a toss up with any of these teams because they're just going to keep reshuffling now and then after the Big Ten tournament and obviously in the tournament, but it could happen with any of them. But that's about it for college basketball. You guys got anything else?
YSU.
Yeah, what are they looking like?
Oh yeah, YSU. I forgot
Yeah,
about them.
let's actually look at them. They've been winning.
They won 5 in a row, I think.
We've won every game since Darius Garland.
Yes.
Or not Darius
And the-
Garland. Darius
I
Quisberry's
do.
been back.
Believe me, I've made
He's
that
playing
mistake.
like Darius Garland. That's why I'm
Yeah.
saying it. Looking like a G out there, straight
Let's
up.
see. Alec and I went to the.
You guys were there last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we shadowed a little bit for the game. What was that game? That was a Rochester game.
Right.
So they won back to back in Robert Morris.
They've won 5 in a row, I think.
Yeah, 1, 2.
They got
3,
IUPUI
4,
tonight
5.
to finish out the season with one more, I believe,
Yep.
against IUPUI. Back-to-backs.
Then we go into
They
the
both are
Horizon
home,
tournament.
Tonight's game, yes, they are both at home.
Okay.
So 2 straight nights here in
Getting
what's
ready for
that,
the
Dean Hall.
Yeah.
It's crucial when.
I mean, and IUPUI is only 7-8. Youngstown's looking to finish the season 15-10.
I mean, they're definitely getting hot at the right time. You know,
I mean,
finishing out
Darius
these-
came back at the right time. Is the
That
thing.
too. I mean, they're
He can't-
definitely.
I mean, it's the team they got one of their leaders back.
that is their leader.
I mean, he brings that mentality to the locker room. Him, Naz Bohannon,
the core of the guys that have been there
Right.
last
Akuchi.
year or two.
Akuche,
Akuche.
yeah,
That's it.
and then Covington as well.
Covington as
I
well.
mean, those guys are kind of the leaders of that locker room, and when those guys are all coming together at the right time, it's magic.
And like I said, they're getting hot at the right time, finishing out the season. going into the tournament. So maybe it could be the year.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, right now they're in 6th, they're 8-10 in conference, and that's what's really hurt them.
Yes.
But they could finish, 10-10 in conference, and at that point, we could move up one spot, 1 or 2. So
maybe we get
4, 5, or 6 is what we're looking at if we win out.
Yeah.
It could happen. It could be the year.
Right. But IUPUI, if they beat us, I think would jump us, and we'd fall to 7. They go up to 6 if they sweep the series.
Yeah.
So we gotta win tonight. We have
2.
Darius. He
said he wants to make that March Madness run.
I know.
I'm sure
we have talked to him about this numerous times.
They were hoping for it last year.
And if they get in, we would if YSU gets in, we will certainly push hard to get him onto this show. Okay, so we have. Oh man, and
Matt's been talking about getting this guy on the show for months.
Oh yeah, and
he's advertising it. He's putting it out there.
Yes, Darius, come on to the show.
If we could just ask him, Thursday in class. We only have a class with him.
The worst he can say is no. It's the worst he can say.
Yeah.
But he already agreed to kick Matt's rear end in basketball.
Yeah,
we're going to film that, so
we will film that.
It'll be after the basketball season because we can't obviously do that during season.
No.
With COVID and trying to make sure he doesn't get injured again coming off the ankle injury.
Exactly.
Matt's going to take him out of the tournament.
Matt's going to step on his foot. The guy's going to tear his Achilles. And it'll be that.
I'll be like the most hated person ever. First time ever they get in March Madness, and I hurt their star player. Oh God!
That's why we're doing it after the season.
I'd get a rope and just.
No, let's not go there. Jeez, Matt, that's gruesome. Let's not go there. That's really freaking gruesome, dude. Not cool. Not cool at all. Moving it along, I think NBA is up. Let's get as far away from that as possible.
So, let's move into NBA. So, let's start with some, significant news. Anthony Davis with the ankle injury.
Achilles.
Achilles.
Yeah, he re-aggravated his Achilles injury. He's getting an MRI today. I just checked. We haven't got any more news so far. At least
hopefully it's not too serious. It looked a little swollen, but hopefully it's nothing bad.
Right.
So, where do you...
I just read something about the Pistons. Are they doing better or something?
Probably not.
The Pistons.
This man bringing up the Pistons.
I don't know.
They just traded away Derrick Rose.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They're probably going to trade Blake Griffin.
Probably.
But yeah, back with the Lakers. Actually, I want to touch base with the Jazz a little bit. 20-5 they are.
22-5.
22-5
now. Some respect on that.
We'll give them 2 more wins. How do you guys kind of think they're? Because
I've liked the Jazz the past few years. I thought they've been coming. I thought it was them and the Nuggets who were about to start running the West.
Not to discredit the Jazz. I mean, 22-5, good for them. But the last couple of years, we'll go back to when Golden State was the top dog in the West. There's been teams that Nuggets one year when they were coming up. There's been teams I thought could challenge the higher seed in the West. But at the end of the day, the Lakers are the top dog. I mean, until they beat them, I can't really say that. I just, every time I feel good about a team that they could beat the top dog, they just don't.
I mean, they did beat the Bucks. I mean, they beat the Celtics.
Oh, they have some good wins, but I'm talking about, if the Jazz and Lakers are playing each other in the playoffs right now, the Lakers have LeBron, so I'm going with the Lakers. That's all. I mean,
what if they don't have Anthony Davis?
That's different. I'm not going to play what ifs here. But.
Right now, if the playoffs started today, Utah would be playing Golden State.
Golden State's warming back up.
Yeah.
In the microwave.
They just every time they win a couple games, they lose a couple games.
Yeah.
Denver would be playing LA. So
can we talk about how quiet Memphis is, just casually sitting in the 9th seed at 11-11?
You know who's kind of surprised me this year is the Spurs. They're sitting at 6 right now?
Yeah. 16-11.
I didn't
How about Portland bounce back from last year?
Matt's going to be happy about this. New Orleans is sitting a while back.
I just saw that.
11-15.
I see that.
Yeah, it's very happy about
still
that.
Better than the Cavs, so.
Yeah, that is true. Oh well.
The Cavs sliding a little bit, but
I mean they're on a down. I mean, what did we expect?
They're young. They're still a young team,
and it's still a young season. I mean, not even at the All-Star break.
I mean, we were talking a little bit when they started out good about maybe making the playoffs, but I wasn't guaranteeing that. I mean, they're still a young team.
Oh, I don't think we were guaranteed. I think we were hopeful that we'd pull a 7 or 8 seed.
I'm definitely happy with where they're at right now. I mean, I don't like the news today about.
And frankly, Toronto is 12-15. We're 10-18.
Yeah.
We're only 2 games back from
and who's
the
A seed? Charlotte.
Toronto.
Charlotte's
Charlotte's 6th.
Isn't New York up there?
New York is 7th. So there's a lot of disparity. Miami's actually bounced back. They're all the way up to the 9th with 11-15. Right now, the East is kind of in a crapper.
as it usually is. But
right. I mean, the
How about
West
New
doesn't
York,
have
though,
the West
bouncing
doesn't
back?
have a losing team in the top 8. The East has 3 in the top 8. Half the top 8 is losers. So,
Oh, jeez.
how else do you want me to
How
word
about,
that?
how about that LaMelo Ball led Charlotte Hornets right now?
Props on Jordan for picking the right guy.
Yeah.
I like him so far. I have no complaints. They're
yeah,
playing
and a
well.
lot of controversy. They weren't starting at the beginning of the year, and
I mean, but maybe it was the right move, not just to throw him right out there on night
it was
one.
only for a couple games. He wasn't starting.
Right.
So
It's, hey, why don't we let this guy actually see what the NBA is before throwing him into the hellfire?
yeah.
I mean, the NBA is rough and high-paced and physical. And you see a lot of it on TV, and you don't realize until you have to go one-on-one against LeBron James just how painful this game is.
And especially with this year, cramming games in with delaying the season. I mean,
Right.
games are just coming every
It's
single
an
night.
odd
against
season. Let the guy rest for a minute.
good opponents. I mean, you're seeing it right now with the Cavs. I mean, games are just coming against good teams. They don't have time to breathe because
Right.
they're not on these teams' level, and they have to
And
find a way.
we were just on a big road stretch, too, so
Yeah, finishing out tonight against Golden State, but
I hope that's a game that they pull out.
I hope
Get
so.
the dub. That'd be a
Be a
nice
nice one
win
to
for
get.
him. Good bounce back, I think, too.
So the news out of the Cavs today was about the Drummond news.
Yes.
So Andre Drummond, here, let me just read the article from News, or just the headlines for it.
Woj dropped another bomb.
Did I say Woosh?
I think. I don't know.
I don't even know you said Woj.
Oh,
or
okay.
Woj.
So Woj put out the story. The Cavs?
The Cavaliers.
The Cavaliers will be setting 2-time All-Star Andre Drummond as franchise transitions to Jared Allen as the long-term center.
I mean, I thought we all expected that.
Jared Allen's pretty good.
Yeah, he is pretty good. But we're sitting Andre Drummond?
I mean, I wouldn't just
The
sit him.
guy is leading the league
How much
in
did they
rebounds.
spend
He has
on him?
13.3 rebounds per game on the season. He's the second leading scorer for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He is doing it all. He is getting double-doubles nightly. What more can you ask for out of a center? And we're now going to sit a guy making $28 million a year.
Yeah.
We're already wasting $20 million or $30 million on Kevin Love to sit on the bench
Yes.
all year.
And all that money
We
to get
literally
Jay
have
Hoffman.
$50 to $60 million dollars sitting on the bench for the rest of the season.
And this is totally unrelated, but what are they doing with JaVale McGee? They don't play him.
He's benched too.
Well, now
What
he's
the
playing
heck?
because
We
Drummond's
brought
not.
in 15 centers and aren't using any of
Yeah.
them.
Only Jared Allen.
Only Jared Allen.
The
And
fact-
they're wearing him out.
Their game plan recently has been so dumb in the way they've used Drummond.
And they were starting Drummond and Allen at the same time.
And that's when they're winning.
That's when they were getting blown
Drummond
off the
was
floor.
dropping 30-30s.
But starting two centers like that, they were. I mean, against the Nuggets, they got blown off the floor in the first quarter. Starting two centers like that, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's
In
not a
today's NBA.
multi-center league anymore.
No.
I mean, they got waxed in the first quarter against Portland the other night.
I
Start
think
two
it's
centers.
odd. The roster changes the Cavs
Portland
mood.
came out and just ran it.
22-4. They were getting killed.
I think
watched
I
it.
just want to put this out there that the changes the Cavs made to go from Tristan Thompson to Andre Drummond, because they wanted to bring in that size and that speed and that vertical ability
And the name.
and the name. They wanted the star power.
To attract
And now-
other star power.
Right, and now we bring in Jared Allen, who, no offense, but is virtually the same player as Tristan Thompson. They're about the same height.
He has a better
They have
offensive game,
about
though.
the same skill set. Yeah, better offense. I
He
would
can shoot
say.
a little better than Tristan.
Yeah.
He's not a shooter,
But
but he
they're about the same level.
Yeah.
They're about the same weapon. They're about the same.
and he's just better shot
Jared
blocker,
Allen
but-
has a lot, maybe a few more blocks.
Yeah.
But Tristan Thompson has been the #1 offensive rebounder in the NBA
For like how many years?
the past 10 years.
Yeah.
He's been, basically every year he's been in the NBA.
Yes.
He's been the top offensive rebounder. Now we bring in Drummond, who is also showing out to be the top NBA rebounder. And now we're like,
I don't
we
know.
don't want either one. Let's take Jared Allen.
Let's just put it this way: we're disappointed for like how they're playing. Or
I'm
like, what they're
disappointed that
doing.
we're putting $60 million
Yes.
on the bench.
That's
Yes.
the thing that bothers me. But if you're going to talk about, I mean,
That's
obviously,
That's most of our cap space.
the money thing,
Yeah.
I'm on the same page. I'm frustrated with that part. That's sickening how much money you have sitting on the bench. Kevin Love's played what 2 games this year?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't have that. But
At a
You-
point,
Yeah.
loyalty only goes so far.
we all know, like when they first brought in Jared Allen, Drummond's days were going to be limited.
yeah.
We all knew he was
I
going to be on
bet
his
you.
way out.
I bet you if they trade Drummond, I bet you Love is with it.
Cavs did actually open up trades today for Drummond, accepting offers,
There's rumors about the Raptors maybe wanting
but
him.
nothing is significant. There's been no serious offers made towards him. Which I think is interesting that nobody wants the caliber of Drummond. I'm thinking it's because of the $30 million contract.
It's probably that, because other than that, I mean,
the Cavs are the only one dumb enough to pick up a $30 million contract for Drummond and a $30 million contract for Love.
But they dumped
and sit them both on the bench.
But to get Drummond, they dropped a lot. Too big.
Was it money to get him?
So they gave a lot of money. It took in a lot of money, but the money they gave out was more. So they didn't hurt themselves by taking Drummond. But that's the only thing. They gave up nothing to get him.
Right.
So now their team's going to be like, oh, you guys got him for nothing. Now we want to get him for nothing.
Right.
That's the only part that they're going to have
trouble. Brought down his trade value by giving away nothing to get
The only thing that built up is, obviously, his trade stock has been the way he's been playing, which has been awesome. But other than that, teams are going to be like, you guys got him for nothing. So
right. I mean, he's still averaging like 18 points per game and 13.8 rebounds.
That's Andre Drummond.
That's Drummond. He's your double-double. It's ridiculous.
But I wasn't shocked.
It disgusts me.
They
just do stupid things.
And it's disgusting to see from a professional franchise who just 5 years ago won an NBA title.
But when they started out good a couple weeks ago, we weren't saying they were this way. I mean, we all knew they were still this way, but we were all happy they were. So we weren't complaining about it a couple weeks ago.
No, we weren't complaining about it because they were able to be dumb and winning. When you're dumb and losing, people get pissed at you.
Yeah.
Because when you can be dumb and win like the Steelers did for 11 times a season, nobody complains.
Yeah.
When you're dumb and lose your final 6 games of the season,
and
you're an idiot while doing it, like making Big Ben throw 60 times a game.
Yeah.
You get made fun of and you get criticized.
Even look at the Jets when they had a chance to get Trevor Lawrence. They won too many games at the end. They gave it to Jacksonville.
And you get fans like friends we know taking their posters down and being unloyal.
Right. It's not like we're being unloyal to the franchise, but I think we have the right to criticize.
No, listen, I think all three of us here are three of the most loyal Cavs fans there are. I'm always going to stick by them, but I'm not going to stick up for every dumb move they make. You can only stick up for them so much.
I can be a fan and criticize you at the same time.
Like, I'm going to own up to it here.
You're criticizing them because you're a fan.
And we care.
That's part of being a fan.
To be able to compete.
That's part of being a fan.
Who are we arguing?
Yeah, who are we arguing? Ourselves?
We're just arguing the internet that doesn't care.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is the dumbest argument we've ever had. It's literally against nobody.
But the only thing, like, to be serious here, like, the Drummond trade...
serious for once on this show?
Well, I'm gonna kind of put the Cavs under the bus here. Like, making trades like this, giving up nothing to get some stuff, like, giving up nothing to get Drummond, which, okay. Giving up not much to get Prince and Allen, okay. But, like,
now
you
what are you
stop
doing
giving up these guys and, like, bringing in stuff you aren't doing anything with it.
Why are we bringing in guys if it's not what we wanted to use in the first place?
I get giving up big contracts for nothing. Like, they give up...
Unless, we're saying all this, unless the Cavs get something good out of Drummond's trade.
So the only, like, okay, bringing in guys... like Drummond and guys like this.
Don't give me another Dante Exum-like player when they got rid of Clarkson.
Yeah, but they turned Exum and Allen and Prince.
And frankly,
it worked out later, but at the time...
Frankly, I don't want a draft pick out of Drummond either.
No.
He is more valuable than draft picks.
Yes.
In the way he plays and the...
I don't even think they should trade him. I don't even think they should trade him.
If they could trade him, yeah, they should.
I don't think so.
I'm not paying $28 million for you to be 6th man of the year.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
And Allen's clearly the center of the future. I'm not going to sit him that much either. I want him to get in there. So
I'm not going to have him split time with Andre Drummond.
No.
Okay.
I'll have him, be the starting center over JaVale.
Because for this team right now, with a young
backcourt, him too.
Right.
But like, if they want to bring these guys, if they want to give up nothing to bring in these guys and then flip them to get assets, okay, I'm all for it. But like, why do you wait so long to do it? I mean. At what point do you keep bringing these guys in, then you wait around and not do anything with it, then you want to just sit him and... Why are you
right now,
Drummond?
We're talking about that Dante Exum trade that got us both Jared Allen and Prince now.
I'll take it.
That entire move. But to point that, it took an entire year to get that entire train moving and going.
But they weren't going anywhere anyways.
No.
Throughout that year. So it's okay. From that point, it's okay, but like you're saying... You wait so long to do it.
What is the Cavs franchise really waiting for?
I don't know.
We have the young players. We have the young talent.
Don't wait.
We brought the coach that the players like in. But we have the star power. barring injuries and the COVID thing this season,
they've had a lot of injuries though. I'll give them that.
They had a bad stint where I think
Drummond's been hurt a few times. I mean, whether we want to knock Kevin Love or not, he's only played 2 games.
I still think he is the dumbest contract.
It definitely
in major sports.
It definitely is, and I've stuck up for Kevin Love throughout the years, but the contract's stupid. I'm not going to defend that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, good on him. He got paid.
I mean, there's been times...
This is nothing on Kevin Love. This is on the franchise.
No. I mean, what, you took that deal?
Yeah.
And he's barely even played since you made that deal.
Are you kidding me? If I know I can make... Oh, yeah, my knee's killing me.
Listen, since he made that... Since he
he's
signed
like
that
Kawhi
deal...
Leonard, but smarter.
Since he signed that deal when LeBron left, he hardly played that first year without LeBron. Last year he played a little bit, but then it got shortened because of COVID, and he's played 2 games this year.
The guy's made $60 million over 3 years to play 25 games.
Yeah. I mean, what, you've done it?
Oh, yeah.
I don't care what team it is.
The guy's making like $3 million a game.
I mean, I'm not knocking him, but...
The Cavs are the ones that are dumb for making the move. I mean, obviously that's a guy you want to pay because of what he did for you, but at the same time, you're also trying to be a contending franchise. And loyalty is great.
I wouldn't even say they're trying...
non-loyal league.
I wouldn't say they're trying to be contending. They're just trying to, be respectful.
They're not trying to hurt feelings.
Just...
And sometimes you got to break a few hearts to get to the top.
You're right.
Can't please them all.
Right now,
look at every great franchise that has won a title somewhere. Somebody had to get dropped along the way to get there. They had to step on somebody else.
The Raptors, I mean, other teams we won't get into.
Look at the Raptors when they brought in Kawhi Leonard. Who got stepped on? DeMar DeRozan.
But
the guy who had been walking around that franchise forever and, carrying them. They went, get out of here, kid. We're bringing in Kawhi Leonard. He got stepped on. He got his feelings hurt. He was loyal. He kept re-signing with them. And they just went, who cares?
I mean,
feelings got to get hurt.
As they say all the time, it's business. You got to do it.
It's a business.
And
life sucks.
Like I'm saying,
when you're making $20 million, cry me a river.
We'll start the first step. Like the Cavs right now are just trying to build their way back to being a respectable franchise, which they're getting close.
So so obviously we are not going to trade for. If they're looking for a trade to Toronto, we were talking about.
I would maybe get a guy like Norman Powell.
Norman Powell and Fred VanVleet. Give me a backup point.
I don't want no draft picks. We have our own draft picks right now. We've been in the lottery the last 3 years. I don't want no more draft picks.
Right.
We need a backup point guard, number one.
I don't want Kyle Lowry. That's another dumb contract.
That would be.
Give me
Fred VanVleet. Dumb contract, and for his contract, he's not worth it.
I mean, VanVleet's a big contract too because he just got resigned. But he's a baller. He's a straight up shot maker.
What was it?
Shot caller, whatever.
53 points.
Right.
Off the bench.
But Toronto won't do something dumb like that.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get a guy with Norman Powell.
Toronto. Big news out of Toronto Raptors. They're going to finish the season in Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Just got to throw that in there.
Yeah, we're talking about them. So.
Right.
But Toronto seems to be the team. Nothing official, but there's rumors out there that they're
the favorite to land Drummond.
Maybe probably to land him, but we'll see if another team swoops in. But I would take a guy with Norman Powell. I don't know if I'd want it. I mean, they need a backup point guard. Yeah. Obviously, he wouldn't start because they have Sexton and Garland, but they don't have a true natural point guard. So I would definitely look for a guard in any trade you make with Drummond. Like you said, I don't want no more draft picks. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, me too. Who was that guard? Who they were using as a guard? Who was he?
Dotson. And he's still their backup point guard. Yeah. He's not even a natural point guard.
I mean, Garland's leading the team in assists with 5.4. That's pathetic.
From him and Sexton, they got to get their assist totals up. I watched it last night.
I mean, Sexton's at 4.
That's another thing I know.
Larry Nance is third in assists.
He's hurt
3.6.
I know. That's another thing I want to talk about. That Sexton and Garland ball hog way too much.
Well, I think Garland, he tries to get other people involved. But
it's more Sexton.
It's Sexton. Like I watched a play last night, for example. Like
I've been watching it the past week.
There was a play
every game. I think it was game I went to.
I think it was JaVale McGee. He was under the hoop, and Sexton's he's driving towards the hoop, catches the ball behind the basket, and still flicks it up. Like get the ball out of there.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to shoot it every time you touch the ball.
It's a team game. Okay?
Don't tell Kobe or Jordan.
But listen, for a team like the Cavs, and this is what the system they're trying to put in.
Did we not bring in Colin Sexton for him to be the guy? We knew he wasn't the distributor. We knew that wasn't his game. We know he's the
But how is Darius Garland supposed to be your distributor when he never has the ball? Because
they built the wrong system. That's the Cavs' fault for building the wrong system. Garland was not the guy to bring in.
No.
Garland is not the complement to Sexton. Sexton needs the ball in his hands. Sexton has a very similar game to the way Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan plays. Give the man the damn ball and let him drive.
But he's not that caliber of them guys.
No,
he's
not. But was Jordan in his first 2 seasons the Jordan he was in '96?
No.
He was not even close.
He wasn't the real Jordan until the 90s.
Yeah. We're talking a guy in, his third season?
But the only thing is...
He's getting better.
That only
and
works.
He's currently leading the team in points.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
At 22.7.
For guys like Kobe and Jordan, that works. But, like, for a young team like the Cavs...
Kobe also came off the bench his first few seasons.
Yeah. And a team like the Cavs where, like, they're not a good offensive team. But if you're talking about the guys they have right now, and if they're trying to be competitive again, you have to move the ball. I mean, when you get that ball moving around, you get so many more easy shots. Like, it's hard to even describe. Like, when
who's the guys making the shots? We don't have any shot makers.
That's what I'm saying. So you got to move the ball around.
Move
the ball around the perimeter so you get the defense moving and then work towards the hoop. That's what you do.
Break up the defense by passing.
That's what I'm saying.
But that was what we were using Drummond for. He was the post guy.
Now
we're not going to use Jared Allen as a post man. He doesn't have the muscle Drummond had.
No, he doesn't. But he can play in the post.
He can, yeah, but he's not the post man like Drummond. Drummond also has one of the best verticals for a center in the league and can throw the hammer down like really no one else can at that position. We're getting rid of a super versatile weapon like Drummond, 2-time All-Star, and who's also leading the team in steals and blocks, so he's the only guy doing anything on defense. No, this is nothing against Jared Allen.
No, it's not. I like him a lot.
Drummond is not the guy to be moved around.
No.
And Drummond was a key piece to their winning early on in the season when he was out there dropping 25, 30 points every night and also pulling in 15, 20 rebounds. Now we're cutting down his minutes to 17, 15, 16, 7, and we're losing.
But my only thing is, go back to, like, Sexton. I'm not knocking him because I like him. But, like, for as bad as they are offensively, and as... Like, they just don't have any threat. Like, if you watch some of these games they're playing on this road trip, their offense is so hard to watch. And I don't need Sexton, like, going around throwing up stupid shots, and he's not... Like, get the ball moving. If you have a good shot, and if most of your shots are good and you're just going to shoot them the whole time, go ahead. But some of these dumb shots, he's just driving under the basket and just flicking it up. Their offense is so hard to watch.
So you're saying... Take your shot, but take valuable shots.
Take your shot. Like, his shot is... If he wants to go...
He's also averaging 48%.
If you want to set screens for him and you want him to get his mid-range shot, because his mid-range shot around the foul shot is pretty much unstoppable. But if you want to shoot that all the time, go ahead. Like, get to your spots. But, like, don't just shoot unnecessary shots. Get other guys involved. That's all I'm saying. Because the ball has energy. When the ball has energy, it's going to find its way back to you. If Sexton wants to shoot the one time, get it around the perimeter, and it's going to find its way back to you. The ball has energy.
Yeah.
That's my only... I'm done ranting about the Cavs.
What's next?
When they start losing, we get mad about them. But
you can't be like that. We love them when they win, and hate them when they lose.
We just don't hate them when we lose. We're just.
I never hate them. They're
always
my team. But there's just a lot to complain
I've got the right to criticize them. I have to watch them.
Yeah.
I choose to watch them too. Like, I don't have to watch them against good teams. Like, I know they're going to get blown out.
Are those musicals you've been watching pretty good?
I don't know what musical you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to get some sweet chin music here in a minute if you don't shut it. So, Mike, what else you got for us?
Didn't we have some baseball news we talked about before?
Oh, yeah, I want to talk about salary cap and the stupidity of what it is.
Yeah.
I just want to say, before we start, I know for our two teams here in baseball, for this season coming up, the Indians have a lower payroll than the Pirates do. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I mean, there's a lot of young guys, though, on the Indians roster.
On both teams there are, in both farm systems. But
there's a lot of farm system guys. But the whole cap space thing in the MLB needs to be addressed at some point.
Go ahead.
It's disgusting to look at. The fact that we're having one team like the Yankees, having 5 times as much as, the lowest payroll team in baseball.
The fact that you have a guy, they just signed the Dodgers just signed Bauer.
Yeah.
The fact that you have a guy making more money than an entire franchise, not just one franchise,
right?
Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, all these other franchises, that's sad.
It's bad for baseball.
It's very bad for baseball. And I get it.
Because especially when we're in such a mobile league now.
And, it irritates me when I hear Yankee fans and Dodger fans saying, "Oh, if you don't want to spend money, you can't win." Well, that's true. Like, I'm not the Pirates need to spend money. I'm not denying that. But there's only so much they can spend right now and same with the Indians.
What are the Yankees?
The Indians went all in 2016. They had a chance to win the World Series, and other than that,
they spent all their money.
That was their one opportunity. They only had one shot. I mean, they got in the playoffs a couple other years, but that was it for them.
2016 was the year.
I mean, you see it every 20 years for Cleveland.
They're usually competitive, but like
they're competitive
Once
to
in
be
a
an
while-
ALCS team and a World
years.
Series team. That's every 20 years. Like you're saying.
The last round before that, that was what 96,
97.
97.
Before that was 95, but I mean.
Yeah, I mean that's the
Before that it was in the
squad.
50s.
Right.
So.
Then we're
There's
just looking back
gaps.
at their last
There's
World
always
Series
gaps.
win.
Same thing
There's
with Pittsburgh.
always gaps.
Early 90s they were good. Then they weren't good again for 20 years.
What are those young
Then you
players
have
they're
the
bringing
one
up?
Yeah, and then it's done after that.
Those young players bringing up.
I mean, right now Indians
Yeah,
though
like-
are still favored to be
Yeah.
finished second in the
Yeah.
AL Central, which isn't an accomplishment considering the AL
It's very
Central
bad.
sucks.
Yeah.
Probably the worst division in
I mean,
baseball.
who you got? The Twins, White Sox, and
Hey, we're the NFC East
Tigers.
of football.
Tigers.
Let's see if we can finish better than the Cowboys.
Tigers.
Central's pretty bad too.
Yeah.
The only good team you pretty much
Central
got
teams that aren't good at baseball right now.
Cardinals. I mean, the Cubs are falling apart, but
You know, the Central teams suck
They
because
signed
they're the
back-
teams that don't have as much money as the East Coast and West Coast.
I know.
There was a story. They who was a big pitcher? Lester wanted to come back and finish his career there. I want to pitch for you guys, and they said no, we don't have the money. Then they signed Arrieta back.
Yeah, they brought it back. Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Man, that's a you know what to him.
Like the salary cap thing, like that.
Yeah.
Big,
I wish you guys could have seen that visual. Oh, sorry, I didn't know how this machine works. Guardians of the Galaxy reference. Go look at that clip, and you'll know what we did.
You know what we just did there, but
That's why I love audio podcasts.
Yeah.
yeah,
Forget video podcast. We're never doing videos again.
Yeah, we're just sitting here
Yeah.
hanging out.
Yeah.
The only videos we'll have is when we have like competitive stuff. Like
Yeah.
we talk about a dunk contest coming soon, so stay tuned.
TikTok dunk contest, maybe.
Yeah. Looking like it's gonna happen, but back to baseball.
We have
Back
all
to
the
baseball.
resources here to do it.
We definitely
just
do.
have to not be idiots.
We definitely did not hurt ourselves, but
Oh man, let me get my knee braces and ankle braces on. We're gonna do it on crutches instead.
look like you're back in the day.
Yeah. So give me some high socks. Give me some calf socks. Get them all the way up, right below
You
the
got
knee.
the jersey on now.
Oh yeah, I got the jersey on. I'm ripping my
Shorts?
Buckeyes
Shorts.
and my Buckeye shorts.
Good to go.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's go run this thing. Run it back.
He's
Here
got
comes
his
the boom, baby.
He's got his water cooler too, ready for the game.
Oh yeah, man. Pound it through.
Stay
Stay
hydrated.
hydrated.
Staying hydrated. Don't want no cramps.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
Mike, you got anything else for the show this week?
Well, other than the shower cap baseball
I got-
now, but
we got
two
one
other
little
things.
special thing, and I know the
We got
greatest.
two things to do here.
Yeah.
Well, number one, you know what we're gonna do here.
Yeah. I
We got
know.
that.
I
Do we have something
know.
else?
I know who it is.
We talked about NASCAR.
Oh yeah, we did.
Or do
We
you-
did.
Sorry.
McDowell won the race.
Yeah.
Elliott came in second.
That's it.
I think Wallace finished third, didn't he?
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
Hockey, Pens won again yesterday.
Pens
Uh,
won. Blackhawks
I don't really want
won.
to talk any more NASCAR. There's some issues I'm having with him. So.
Hockey, there's not much.
I
There's
know. We're not going to dabble
Nothing
into
interesting
that
yet.
right now because we're casual. All right.
We've already had too much of an aggressive podcast.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Go ahead and bring it in.
Speaking of an aggressive podcast, how about our most aggressive part of the day, I would say?
and entertaining.
I consider it to be entertaining.
So there's a reason why we say it for last.
I mean, it hurts my brain some weeks, the stuff that we are forced to talk about on the show, thanks to our very own Matthew J. Morrison. The stuff that comes up during the week in sports really just makes you question society sometimes.
And certain athletes
And certain athletes.
and organizations.
But one guy that just keeps reappearing in this part of the news of just keep your mouth shut.
Oh, I was going to give it to somebody else.
Oh.
Well, maybe Alek has his own here.
We're going to have multiple maybe, who knows.
Yeah.
But I don't know who it is then. So without any further ado, I got nothing else to say. This week's Meathead of the Week.
All right. So this week's meathead of the week. I was going to give it to Kyrie Irving. I really was because he's a loudmouth.
He just doesn't know how to shut his
Yeah.
He
mouth.
just says
But
unnecessary
instead, I'm going to give it to three special people, and me included.
things. Are we allowed to give it
For
to
the-
multiple people? Or
I mean, it says award.
do we have more
Three
than one
special
trophy or not?
people, and guess what? They're sitting right here. I'm a meathead, you're a meathead, and you're a
Why are we
meathead.
meatheads?
I don't know what we did this week.
What
He's a
did I do?
meathead for choosing this.
We're meatheads.
Are we
in
talking
general.
about
Well, do
the
you have
fact
an
that it
actual
took us
giveaway
45
or-
minutes before the show to actually
Yes.
start?
Yes. Yes,
We're sitting in the
I'm not
apartment
talking
playing
about during the
basketball.
show at all. I'm not talking about during the show at all. We're just meatheads in general, and it's about time.
For a certain reason, or
Matt, I think this is your third or fourth time winning the award.
You just not
This
have
is my
some.
second time.
I never won it before.
I just think that
Hey, Mike,
there's a
first time winners, let's go.
I just think there's a time that we all need to be meatheads.
Okay, but do you have like a real one here?
Yeah, Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving, but we're just meatheads.
We always are.
I mean,
but
we came up
did
with the
you have your own
award.
one or not?
It was just Kyrie Irving. I mean,
Kyrie Irving.
Find a way to stay
shouting
relevant
off,
for stupid
I don't
reasons.
know. I don't read it.
I'm trying. Matt, why do you send me so much stuff?
I don't know.
We
You
send
sent
each
me
other a
so
lot
much
of
stuff. You should hear my
Yours are
phone
the ones
in
that
the
are
morning.
useless.
You should hear my
Because I
phone in
open
the
up my
morning.
Instagram like once or twice a day and scroll through and send it all.
I send you good stuff.
Yeah, Mike is useful.
Actually,
That one-
knowledgeable stuff. That's
that
we're
one
actually
time-
That
talking
just
about.
sends me Kobe's highlights like, bro, I'm crying.
I'm sobbing by myself.
Oh, here we go.
You sent me like 20
I got
things in a row.
Kyrie's statement here, why he is this week's
Quote.
Meathead of the Week. On the Nets' recent struggles, he said, "We're the team that the NBA put the most games on. We're the team that gets someone taken out during COVID during the games," which is true. Kevin Durant got started off the bench, came into the game, then got taken out and
took him out
said,
again.
"Nope, you can't do that." Quoting back again, "We're the team that has to deal with the refs." You have James Harden, shut up. "We're the team that is literally battling against so many odds that at this point, not even a reason to continue to comment it."
Why does he even say this stuff?
He just needs to shut up, dribble
Like,
the ball.
I'm actually glad that we don't have him anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
He just needs to shut up, dribble the ball, pass it, or shoot
Hey man,
it.
we can't say shut up and dribble. They'll get mad again.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We're the team that is literally battling against so many odds
Alright.
at this point.
How?
What?
You asked for it when you put this team together.
Yes.
I am dumbfounded by the idiocracy.
Well,
of
this
the
is
Kyrie Irving.
listen, Kyrie
That's the
Irving.
team.
Listen to me.
Kyrie,
I
whatever.
hope somewhere.
Well, KD doesn't say
Listen.
dumb things like that.
James Harden hasn't spoken
He
since
doesn't
he's
even
been.
say
in
this.
Listen,
I give him credit.
Kyrie Irving, and I hope you somewhere find this to hear me rant about your
Never come back to
stupid
Cleveland.
stuff. Yeah, please no. When you put super teams together like this, you will clash together. It happened in Golden State with Kevin Durant, who is on your team right now. And now you have James Harden, who was like forced out of Houston. Nobody wanted him there. He didn't want to be there. You have those players on your team. You're gonna clash.
And you have, like, the three guys. Like, this is arguably
Get
the
used
best
to it.
offensive group of talent you ever had in NBA history.
This
and
is
you,
a simple-
and you think there's not going to be any pressure on you? What the hell's, what's wrong with you?
You made your bed, lay in it.
Yeah.
I'm done. You're
We
meathead.
create our own demons. We create the thing that destroys us. Brooklyn did it.
Yeah.
Perfectly. I mean, they're still the worst defensive team in basketball and the best offensive.
And I don't see any way they could improve. Like,
Oh,
they
by
can
the
moves or
way,
anything.
by
They
the
can't.
way,
They're not
thank
anybody
you,
out for anybody.
thank you, Nets, for Prince and Jared Allen.
Yeah, we'll take all of your defense.
We'll take all your defense. You can just
Hopefully,
add
we'll
more
start
drama.
using it here soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. You add more drama to your team, and we'll take your defense.
All right, well, that's a shorter show this week. I think that'll just about do
You
it,
don't
though.
have your game of the week list?
Game of the week?
That was Ohio State, Michigan. I already gave it
okay.
away.
Oh, okay.
Well, you usually have some more than that, though.
It's the only important
That's
one.
the best one. So.
It's the only one that matters.
Yeah.
Even
All
though
right.
it really doesn't. It's a basketball game. They really don't matter week in, week out. They're such... No, I mean, look at basketball. With the amount of games... It's kind of like baseball.
Yeah, it is
It's
true.
like... Yeah, this is
Like
this will
football,
be
you get
cool
it once a
matchup.
year. Yeah.
Right. Football, it's like, oh, this is it. This has playoff standings.
But
Every
college-
game
wait,
matters.
College
Oh, we
basketball it
forgot
happens
about
once or
something.
twice a year, though.
We
So
forgot
it's
about
not bad.
something.
No, wait, hold on. But I'm just saying, the college basketball, the Ohio State versus Michigan, one time this season, cool, but we still have the Big Ten Conference
But it's still
tournament.
three. It's still 3 versus 4.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
and
is
that's why I give it the game of the week. But at the end of the day, it's one game in a very large season. They don't matter nearly as much
We
sometimes.
forgot about the talk about something very small. Fan-based football with Johnny Manziel. Fan-controlled football. That's what it is.
Yeah, I saw a few highlights. It didn't look much.
You got
much
Bob
like anything
Menery's
special.
Zappers team.
And Marshawn Lattimore's
Yeah.
or Lynch. Marshawn Lynch is one of the commentators.
Yes.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, saw that was pretty
Yeah,
interesting. I don't know.
That was.
I didn't see too many actually passing highlights. It was
I
more
just
the
saw
quarterback
running.
just starts running.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like when you're out in the middle school and, during recess and the one athletic kid is like, I'm all-time quarterback and just
I get
starts
it.
running around.
I get
all-time
there.
quarterback.
So
I
I'm
remember
gonna
that.
say
We always
something
did
about
that.
this. I get they're trying to get another league in there, but this is like the third year in a row a different league has came up. They had
And you know what? We've enjoyed it every time, so stop
XFL.
complaining.
I know. Oh no, I know. But I'd like to see it stick around.
I mean, I was hoping the
We're also
XFL would have stuck
we're
around.
The
also forgetting
XFL's
about
coming back. I know that.
We also forget about the spring league that just ran side by side with the NFL this season down in Texas.
Yes. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, JT Barrett was one of the starting quarterbacks down there.
Oh,
They
yeah,
didn't get
Every
very
league
much.
invented.
I didn't hear
Barrett's
about
in
it.
it.
They didn't give it.
No,
too
you're
much.
thinking of Cardale.
Oh, Cardell. I'm sorry. Yeah, Cardell.
I don't think Cardale has been involved in any right now.
No.
Not right now.
No,
But
nobody
we
wants
will
him
see
after
the
that
return
fall
of the
apart in
XFL
DC.
again because Dwayne Johnson put all that money into it. So
Yeah, maybe Dwayne Haskins' revenge, the XFL.
Let's see it.
I'd like it. Run it back.
okay, he's on Pittsburgh.
I don't like they're going to use him. Let's be real.
Picked him up for some reason.
Yeah.
They picked him up to put him there in the room and make him look good. There's no reason Dwayne Haskins is in
I mean,
Pittsburgh.
he looks good in the uniform, but
Yeah, I like
That's
the
about
black
it.
gold on him.
I like his hair.
I don't think he'll be starting anytime soon.
no.
Unless Big Ben just goes, I'm done. Then they'll be, oh crap.
You're up.
Next man up. Dwayne Haskins, welcome back to the NFL. Who do you got week 1? I don't know what your schedule looks like.
I don't
so.
know either, so.
The Ravens.
Minor League Baseball might be coming back. Still unsure though.
Oh.
I'm waiting on my contacts
I
to
sent you
see
this-
what's happening.
Scrappers announced their schedule.
Yeah.
already.
Raptors are back, but
And they're
but
starting
not,
mid-May now. They're
but
starting
not as an
affiliate.
affiliate of the Indians.
no, they're
They
not.
are,
They're no longer an affiliate.
No.
What did I hear? They're like a bunch of college.
They're in what, that college
freshly-
league or whatever they
Yeah,
call it.
yeah.
Something. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, there's a lot of those
They can be
smaller teams,
drafted.
like the Lake Erie Crushers,
I'm
who's
still
a
gonna go
small
watch
baseball team.
I'm just glad they're still here. I would have been sad to see the Scrappers go,
Them.
but
Yeah. I wouldn't care if they were an affiliate. I mean, I for a while we went to games when I was a kid. For so long, I didn't even know they were the affiliate of the Indians.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't know, but
So I don't care if they were the affiliate of the Yankees. I'm still gonna watch them.
I mean, they're
Right,
local.
yeah.
They're
You know, it's
right
nice to
here.
have minor
The
league
seats
teams.
are
local squad.
cheap. $15 right behind the plate.
My former employer, they used to pay me.
Oh really?
Yeah.
We don't speak for the brand of the company. That'll do it for the show this week. I'm Alek Aberna.
I'm Matt Morrison.
I'm like Wolfgang. You're
Buy our
host.
merchandise. We're broke. Nobody's listening at this point.
Yeah.
Check us out on all the social medias: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, and wherever else you can find us. I don't know where else this podcast goes. I put it on Anchor. It gets sent out to like 8 different places.
Yeah.
So if you're watching from somewhere else, tweet at us using the hashtag KeepItCasual. And we'll see you all next week.